So I went from 55K to becoming a six-figure tech project manager. I know colleagues that are still stuck applying to the same dead-end roles. Do you want to know the difference? I discovered 3 brutal truths about tech hiring that no one talks about, and they're the exact opposite of what many career coaches tell you. And if you think your degrees or certifications are going to save you, you're about to get a reality check that's going to hurt you. Well, I'm John Nova, MBA, PMP, co-founder of Javen Tech, and I've spent about 15 years plus managing multi-million-dollar fintech projects, loyalty projects, large infrastructure projects across several continents, worked with Fortune 100 companies, worked on payment systems that process millions of transactions daily. But more importantly, I've been where you are, desperately trying to break into higher paying tech roles, watching other people land six-figure project management positions while I was stuck making peanuts. Before this video ends, I'm going to give you 3 specific strategies that got me from a 55K job to 6 figures. But first, you need to understand why everything you've been told about breaking into tech might be complete baloney. So let me tell you the 3 lies that are keeping you maybe poor, right? The first one is you need more certifications. Listen, I have an MBA, PMP, Scrum Master, Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt, certifications, the whole alphabet soup. But I've had people with 0 certifications, right? And I've chosen them over people that had 5 or several. Why? Because certifications don't really ship products. They don't manage stakeholders having meltdowns at 11 p.m. They don't save projects when everything goes to hell. The real skill that got me from 55K to 6 figures, I'm going to show you in about 3 minutes, but let's talk about the second lie. The second lie is that experience is everything, right? That's also wrong. I started managing Fortune 100 projects with less experience than many of the people that are not getting hired today. So the secret sauce is an industry experience. It's something that's completely different. And I'll talk about lie 3 before I, talk into what that source is. Lie 3 is just apply to more jobs. This one really kills me. Actually, this one killed me. I once put on Twitter how I applied to over 400 jobs. You can check it out. People are out here applying to 200 jobs and wondering why they're getting ghosted. Here's the brutal truth. The best positions, they're filled through networks and referrals before they hit job boards. So if you're still playing the job application lottery, you've already lost. While you're sending resumes, right, into the void, smart candidates are getting offers through strategies most people are too lazy to execute. So what's the real game here? What do hiring managers really want, but hardly talk about? The truth is, we hire problem solvers and not resume collectors. When I'm interviewing candidates, I don't care if you managed 10 million project or 10K project in the past. I care about one thing. Can you think on your feet when things go sideways? Because they will. I'll never forget I was managing a loyalty solution rollout with a tight deadline. The day before launch, we ran into a knowledge gap issue that threatened to delay our timelines. A German client would have had our heads because that day had been announced to the public by the marketing team. Now everybody was scrambling. It was really scary. You know what saved that day? It was not my PMP, it was not my MBA. It was the ability to quickly assess the situation, identify alternative solutions, and communicate clearly under pressure. So what's the secret sauce? The real skill that matters will surprise you. It is solution-focused leadership. I want you to listen to this as I break this down into 3 parts. Solution focus. It's where you see objectives or end goals and opportunities where others are just seeing obstacles. Leadership. You can guide teams through chaos, confusion, and uncertainty. By the way, chaos is a big real word in the world of project management. It's the jungle out here. And the last part is communication. It's where you can explain complex problems simply to both technical teams and executives. This is why I went from managing smaller projects to multi-million-dollar initiatives in record time. Not because I got more certifications, but because I started to master this core skill. But here's the kicker. Less than 15% of candidates can demonstrate this in interviews. Look, I get it. I've been where you are right now. I remember sitting in my apartment, making a tiny amount, watching LinkedIn posts of people my age landing six-figure roles in North America. I felt stuck, I felt undervalued, and honestly, I just felt overwhelmed at the time. But here's what changed everything. I stopped focusing on what I didn't have, and then I started to focus on what problems I could solve. I stopped trying to be the most qualified candidate with all the certifications, and I started to work at being the most valuable candidate by working on skill and specific knowledge to deliver solutions. Two different things. And so if you still make an excuse about why this won't work for you, oh, it's a wrong location, wrong background, not enough experience, you're actually choosing to stay stuck. While you're making excuses, someone else with half your qualifications is getting that role that you wanted by simply thinking differently about the game. So, all right, that's enough theory. Here are 3 specific strategies that will make hiring managers remember you. Let's get practical. The first strategy is the problem-first approach. Instead of leading conversations with your experience, talk about problems that you've solved. In every conversation, interview, or networking event, start with, I specialize in this specific problem, right, that make companies have this hiccup, and I create this kind of impact. Here's how you can make this work even if you're just starting out. Research your company, research industries, find common pain points, and position yourself as someone who understands these challenges. So for example, you can say, I focus on preventing communication breakdowns that cause 70% of project delays, or I specialize in managing stakeholder expectations during complex implementations. The key is being specific about the problems, not being vague about your experience, and this is super critical when you get into interview mode. The second strategy is the reverse research strategy. Now, before applying anywhere, research the company's recent projects. Find out what their pain points are, reach out with specific solutions. Don't just ask for a job, offer to solve a problem. I actually know someone who did this with a major tech company. He found out that the company was struggling with cross-functional team coordination on product launches. I know that's a mouthful. Basically, for an organization their size, they were using a bloated approach that was slowing them down. So instead of applying through the portal, he sent a 2-page analysis of coordination frameworks with specific implementation steps. He got a meeting and landed the role in weeks. This works because you're demonstrating the exact skill they need before they even need you. It's what consultants do. So remember this. And that brings us to the third strategy. It's the network multiplication method. So stop trying to only network up to hiring managers. That's half of the coin. It's valid, but it's just half of it. Network sideways to current project managers. They are your inside track to opportunities, and they're more likely to help you because they remember being in your shoes. So join PMI chapters, attend tech meetups, comment meaningfully on project managers' LinkedIn posts, build relationships before you need them in an ongoing manner. These aren't just tips, but they're actually your competitive advantage. I've used these as well. While everyone is playing checkers, you'll be playing chess. So here's the bottom line. The tech industry needs project managers who can think, who can adapt, who can execute, who can get results. The opportunities are there. The salaries are there. 6-figure roles are being filled every single day. The question isn't whether you're qualified. The question is whether you're willing to stop playing by the old rules and you're willing to start thinking like someone who deserves that role. So if this hits differently and you're ready to level up your project management game, I want you to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. I'm dropping strategies like this every week that most people charge thousands for, and I'm doing this for free. So drop a comment below and let me know what's the biggest project management challenge you're facing right now. I read every single one. On a final note, I want you to remember that your next 6-figure role is one conversation away. So make it count. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.